G'day Fizz 3071 students. I'm going to show you in this video how to essentially take what's on that SMP teaching server, so the code that you've written, move it onto your local machine and then submit it to the actual submission server that you'll need to do for all your assessments. So as you can see here on the screen, I've got Visual Studio Code opened and I am SSH'd into that SMP teaching server, right? The place where we're going to write and run all of our code. Okay, and you can see that by the indication of the green box down the bottom left-hand corner of the window. So up here, I've got all of these scripts that are in this folder, this worksheet 2 folder here. Okay, now I just want to take this folder and I want to move this entire folder, so everything in this folder, all of these files, onto my local machine. So the way that I do this is I just do a right click on the folder and I hit download, and this window will come up, and this window is pretty much saying, okay, I'm gonna pull this folder off that SMP teaching server and I'm gonna put it onto your local machine. All right, and the place that I'm gonna save it is on my desktop. All right, so I'll hit the download. It's downloaded to the desktop. It's relatively quick. Okay, and that's because it's just, all of these files are pretty much just text files. There's not a lot of data in them or anything like that. So it's a relatively quick transfer of the files. And now I'll come down here to my File Explorer and you can see right there, I'm in my desktop folder. Okay, just make sure I'm in that desktop folder and I can see that worksheet 2 is there. So when I go into the folder, you can see all of these files here are exactly what matches over here in the Visual Studio program that I'm running here. So that's great. I've pulled all the files off. So now what I need to do is get this folder or get these files onto the submission server. So the way that I do that is I click on this PC. I go map network drive up here. If you can't see these selections up here, you might just have to click. You might see something more like this, or you might actually not see anything at all. You just have to click on this computer drop down here, okay, and that will show these selections. So we're going to go into map network drive. So this letter here, it will most likely be Z, but if it's some other letter, that's fine. Just leave it, whatever it's defaulted to. And in this field here, we're going to type /smp-data03.smp.uq.edu.au, and then also the folder that we're going into, so Fizz 3071. Now we want to select this connect using different credentials, okay? And the reason for that is this server here, this smp-data03, it needs to see your student ID credentials, okay? Not your computer's credentials, all right? So that's essentially what this box is going to do here. So we'll select that. And then you should see a screen that will pop up that will look more like this one here, okay? Where you've got this username and you've got this password that you can put in. So what you need to do, or what you need to make sure, otherwise this isn't going to work, is you type in UQ/, okay, and then put in your student ID, okay? So that would be your S4 whatever number that you would put into Blackboard. For me, I have to put in my staff ID. So I'll just do that, and I put in my password. So that password again would be the password that you would use to log into Blackboard. And I'll click OK. You just give it a second. This will come up again. That's totally fine. Just click OK again. And now I'm connected. Okay, so here on the this folder, this will actually show your student ID number. Okay, for me it's my staff ID, but for you guys it will show that student ID. So you can see that if I click on this PC again and get taken back to this window, you can see that the drive is mounted there. Okay, so if I ever wanted to just access it again, I can just click on here and see it through this way. So once I'm in here, you can already see I've moved over a worksheet 2, but to clarify that things work, I'll just remove that folder from there. So there's nothing now on the smp-data03 submission server that I want to submit. So the way that I just move things over is just how you would move general files around. So I've got another file explorer open over here. Okay, this is in desktop, so this is on my local machine. So I can just do a Control-C, right? I can copy it, or I can drag it over, and I can just paste it into that submission. You can see it's downloading. So that's it. It's submitted. So that worksheet 2, we showed how to pull it off that smp-teaching server where the code, where you would have written the code and run the code. Okay, we moved it onto our local machine, and then we pushed it onto the server for submission, that smp-data03 server. Keep in mind that this would only work if you were on that UQ network or you were connected to the VPN, just like with the VS Code working through SSH. Okay, thank you.